I'm so excited. It's like getting a free book because you forgot you bought it. Eat it up. Like, I'm so excited. Sorry. It's that time of the month when we're picking out our May TBR. Now, I'm actually super duper excited about this because I have never done this before. I always just choose random stuff off my shelf. This is the first time I've kind of choreographed what I'm gonna read this month. So I'm really excited. Let's just jump straight into it. Now, it is currently May 5th, so obviously May has already started. So I have actually already finished a book, and that is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Now, I will be doing like a May wrap-up of all the books I read and giving you full reviews. But let me just quickly say this was a 5-star read. A 5-star read. I cannot believe how much I like this book. The first 20 pages, I was like, am I gonna like this? The answer was yes. One of the decisions the characters made me physically ill. So let's just say I fell in love with this book, fell in love with this author, Lynn Painter. I'm obsessed with you now. So moving on. So I've actually started reading Redeemed by Lauren Asher, which I started last night when I finished this book. I'm on page 160 now. This is book 4 of one of her series. It's about F1 racing. Basically, you follow each guy in a team and how they fall in love with each girl. I have loved this series. It is spicy, but the character development is incredible. I just can't get over how attached to these characters I get. I'm already attached to the characters in this book, and when you read the blurb, you think, Let me give you an example, actually. So Santiago is the guy we're following, and it basically says, the only problem, Chloe hates liars, and I happen to be the biggest one of all. But it's like, so you think the whole book is going to be tainted with that, and it kind of sounds like that's not going to be enjoyable, but it is. And you actually don't get that annoyed at it. I feel like I explained that terribly, but you just get so attached to the characters, and you're going through these stages of grief with them, and you just... It's something really special, honestly. I am just falling in love with these characters. I always do in her books, and I cannot wait to keep reading it. But I was like, I need to film this TBR video before it's like the middle of May, because then no one's gonna understand why I've only started filming my May TBR video halfway through May. So that is the second book of the month that I'm still reading. Now let's move on to the ones I haven't started reading. Well, actually, there is one other book I'm reading at the moment, which is Zodiac Academy Book 8, which I feel like I've been reading this book for months, even though I haven't. It's probably been just under a month, but I've decided I'm still reading it. I'm just reading it at the same time I'm reading these books. So I usually read the Zodiac Academy book right before bed for usually like 15-20 minutes, so I get through like a decent amount of pages. But you know, I'm not really including it in my May TBR, but I will quickly discuss it in my wrap-up video if I finish it this month, which I have a feeling I will. Like, we're getting there. I'm on page 900 and something, so I've got to be close to the end. That being said, there's also 4 more books after that one, so it is what it is. Now let's move on to the actual to be read. So the first one is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Now, I have had everyone talk about this book for so long. I have been told personally that people will think I like it. They just say it's quite like a repetitive trope. I have kind of not been on a fantasy kick lately. Again, as I said, I've been picking up a lot of romance books. At the end of last month, I read The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I actually loved that book so much. I liked it so much more than I was expecting. I just fell in love with the characters again. And again, it's just like books like that, they just tackle grief so well. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really cool. So I really enjoyed that book. I know there's, I want to say 3 books in that series, but I mean, I'll just get to them when I get to them. I don't want to keep buying books at the moment when I still have so many books that I haven't read. Anyways, as I said, I will be reading Powerless by Lauren Roberts. It's the only hardcover book I own, so that's kind of also what's made me really excited to read this book. Now, tackling any fantasy series always scares me, but I'm just doing it. I'm just gonna do it. Like, I've been staring at this book for way too long and it needs to be done. And I have a feeling I will really like it once I get into it. All it says on the back, it does have a blurb in here, but literally all it says on the back is, "Mark my words, Prince, I will be your undoing." And it kind of sounds like there's 2 different groups of people. There's like the ordinary people and then people that have like special abilities. And I think you're following this main character who is lying about having a special ability when she doesn't, and now she has to try and prove the fact that she does. So it sounds like I'll really enjoy it. I have spoken about this before. I'm actually not the biggest fan of combat in books, and I have a feeling this will be very combat heavy, but I'm hoping I'll still be able to get into it. I mean, like, as I said with Zodiac Academy, like, some of the combat scenes are so long. They're so long. So that's why it's kind of been hesitant to pick up another fantasy book, but I think once I've fallen in love with the land and the people, it'll be fine. Like, I know because this is a series, so at least I know that they will have to set up the world. So I have a feeling this will be heavily world building. At least I hope. We'll see. Anyways, moving on. So that is book number 1 that I've chosen for this month. Moving on, now we actually have another fantasy, which is The Rogue King by Abigail Owen. It's from the Inferno Rising series. This is book 1. It has a cute little dragon on it. That's why I picked it up in the first place. I don't know how many books are in this series. I know it's at least 3. Again, after reading the blurb again, I can just tell it's going to be so combat heavy, which I'm making it sound like I hate combat in books. I don't hate it. I just find it really hard to imagine it sometimes. So I feel like it just takes a lot of brain power to read, which is why I've been picking up so many romance books lately, because I just don't have the energy to figure out what's going on in these books. I'm going to pick it up. I'm just going to give it a go. Again, if I don't like it, I don't have to keep reading the series. I just find it really hard not to finish series when I've already started reading them. But it's basically just this guy who's seeking revenge because his whole family died. So, as you can imagine, it's probably going to be extremely combat heavy, but we'll see. Look, it might surprise me and I might get super duper into it. Obviously, I'll let you guys know once I've read it. It's about dragons, and I do like a good dragon moment, so who knows? We'll see. Moving on to book number 3, we have The Silent Patient. Now, I only got this book last month for my birthday, but I am so excited to read it. I love a thriller. I have not been picking up thrillers at all lately. I've been either reading romance or fantasy, so I'm so excited. I do love thrillers because it's like, it's not part of a series, it's one book. Okay, it's like 300 pages, but so much happens, like so much has to happen in that small amount of time that you know that it's going to be an easier story to read than like a 8-book fantasy series, you know what I mean? And this blurb, oh, I've already read this in my TBR video, like my full to be read. It's fine. You guys can hear it again. Alicia Berenson lived a seemingly perfect life until one day 6 years ago when she shot her husband in the head 5 times. Since then, she hasn't spoken a single word. It's time to find out why. Okay, eat it up. Eat it up. Like, I'm so sorry. My dogs are currently sleeping next to me and they were just like, I'm actually so excited to read this. This is definitely one of the most exciting books on my TBR. Now, I do have a lot of fantasy books. The reason I keep looking down there is because all my books are currently on the ground because I moved my bookcase because I've been redoing my room. So that's why I keep looking down there, because that's where all my books are. So sorry if that's annoying, but I have a lot of fantasy books on my like full TBR at the moment, but the reason I've decided to steer clear of some of them is because they're really, really long. So I kind of want to try and get most of Zodiac Academy done before I be picking up those longer books, but I'm so excited to read this. I was like, there's no way I can wait another month to read this. Like, oh, it just sounds so good. I love a thriller. I forget how much I enjoy thrillers. Moving on to book number 4. Now, I pre-ordered this book months ago. Completely forgot I pre-ordered it. It came out, I want to say like April 22nd or something like that. I got it in the mail a few days after that. I'm so excited. It's like getting a free book because you forgot you bought it. So it's Emily Henry's Great Big Beautiful Life. Now, I haven't heard much about the book. What I have heard is that it's quite different to what she usually writes, but I'm kind of excited about that because I more fell in love with the way Emily Henry describes things rather than the books themselves. Okay, well that kind of doesn't make any sense. But I feel like I'm going to enjoy anything she writes, even if it's not the same kind of blueprint as her other books, only because I fell in love with the way she writes rather than the story she's telling. Does that make sense? I really don't know. And it's also a big book. Like for Emily Henry, like this is a big book and then like there's also a lot of pages, but I'm actually super duper excited to read this. And the cover is absolutely gorgeous. Like I absolutely fell in love. All her covers are gorgeous. Like I don't know who makes it. Cover design and illustration by Holly Ovenden. Like this is gorgeous. Like how do people just not pick up these books every time they see them? I've read pretty much all her books. I'm pretty sure. Or at least all her like romance books. I don't know if she's done any other books apart from those. I think there's only one book of hers that I haven't read because I did a video of reading Emily Henry for a week and I think I read about 4 of her books and I absolutely fell in love with them. It just made me fall in love with romance books all over again. So I'm super excited to dive into this world. And she also just makes the world sound amazing. Like I absolutely adore them. So I'm super duper excited about this. It's also so much easier to get absorbed into worlds like these ones just because they feel really realistic. So I'm really freaking excited about it. Anyway, so that is the 4 books I have chosen. Again, if I get through all these books, which I doubt I will, to be honest, but if I do, you never know, then I can just pick any other book I want for my TBR and I will give you guys a full review at the end of May. But this is what we're working with. So I'm actually really excited about it. And I'm off to a great start, honestly. Like rating this one 5 stars straight off the bat. Guys, I love it so much. I wanted to order all the books, like all of Lynn Painter's books, but I decided to wait until I've read a couple more books in my TBR first. And then, yeah, as I said, Redeemed by Lauren Asher. I have fallen in love with this series. Now, you don't necessarily have to read this series in order if you wanted to pick up this book. Like, it doesn't really matter. But each book does talk about other characters that you meet in this book, if that makes sense. So it is fun actually reading it in order because then you follow one love story and then you're on to the next one. But so like book 1 you're following one couple and then book 2 you're following someone else on the same team, but you're watching them fall in love while still seeing the other couple blossom, if that makes sense. So it's just really a good read and I'm really excited to keep reading it. Again, I've kind of smashed through this book, to be honest, but I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna go read and I will see you guys next week with a new video. And I'm so excited to do a little recap video at the end of the month where we can discuss how we feel about the books. But let me know if you guys have read any of these books and how you liked them. Obviously no spoilers, like don't be rude, but just let me know what you guys think of these books. I'm so excited. Okay, bye guys.